Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I'm Payman Hisari. In this video, I will implement rank-based recommendation system on a dataset from Amazon. The dataset is related to over 2 million customer ratings of beauty-related products sold on Amazon. The dataset link is in the description. Let's bring the dataset into the process panel and take a look at it. As you see, we have over 2 million rows of data with 4 regular attributes. The user ID is unique identifier for each user. Product ID is unique identifier for each product. And rating is the rating that a user has given to that product. And timestamp is the time for rating, and it is in Unix time. We do not use this feature, so we get rid of it and we remove it from the dataset. Let's do it first. And in order to remove it, I use an operator called select attribute. Bring the select attribute here, connect two operator together and configure this one. The type I'm going to choose exclude because I want to remove one column. The attribute filter type should be one attribute, and that attribute in select attribute should be timestamp. And if I run the process again, I will not see that column anymore. Next, I'm going to make a copy of this dataset using an operator called multiply. And I will explain why I make a copy of this a bit later. And multiply operator has nothing to configure. It just make a copy of the dataset. Now, in order to build a rank-based recommendation system, we need to calculate the average rating for each product, and the product with the highest rating will be recommended to all users. However, we need to remove users who provided a low number of ratings and products which have received a few ratings to not introduce bias into the model. Let's first remove users. I need to count the number of ratings for each user, and I do that with an operator called aggregate. Bring the aggregate operator here, connect it with multiply operator, and configure this one. For aggregation attribute, click on edit list, and the aggregation attribute is rating, and the aggregation function is count. Apply, and group by attribute is going to be user ID, which means that for each user ID, count the number of ratings. And the output of this is aggregated result for each user. So we see that for each user, we have the number of ratings. Next, I'm going to filter those users where the number of rating is smaller than a specific number. And I use filter example operator. Bring it here, connect two operator together, and configure this one. For filters, click on add filters, and I want the count of rating to be bigger than or equal a number, let's say 20. Okay. And if I run this, the number of data in our dataset will be removed significantly. Now we see that we only have 2,800 data in our dataset. Next, I want to use only these users from the original dataset. So I need to join this one with the original dataset and keep only those users. And in order to do that, I use an operator called join. Bring the join operator here and connect two tables together. And the join type is going to be inner, and the key attribute is going to be user ID for both tables. Apply. Let me explain what we did here using an example. Suppose that this is our data set, and as you see, we have user ID, item ID, and rate. What aggregate operator does, count the number of rating for each user ID. For example, for user ID 2, we have one here, another one here, so we have two ratings for user ID 2 as you see it here. For user ID 4, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 ratings in this data set, so the number of rating is 4. So this is the output of aggregate operator. The second operator was filter example, where filter some of the data from these results. Suppose that the threshold is 3, so the users where the number of rating is less than 3 will be removed from the dataset. And in this case, these two users will be removed. And we only have this results for the data. And when we join it with the original data, it joins only the user ID 4 with the user ID 4 in this case, and the user ID 4 will be remained from the data set. And this is the results that we can see. Next, I'm going to remove products where their number of rating is smaller than a specific number. And in order to do that, I use an aggregate operator again. Bring the aggregate operator here. Connect it with join operator and configure it. For aggregation attribute, choose rating, and aggregation function should be count. And I'm going to add another entry and calculate the average rating as well. And apply. And here, group by attribute should be product ID, which means that for each product ID, I'm going to calculate the number of rating as well as the average rating. And the same, I'm going to filter some products using filter example operator. Bring the operator here, connect it with this aggregate operator and configure this one. And for filters, click on add filters, and here the count of rating again should be bigger than or equal some number, let's say 15. Click OK. And now we filter those products. At the same time, we have the average rating, and I want to sort the results based on the average rating. And in order to do that, I use an operator called sort. Bring the sort operator here. Connect it with this operator and configure this one. And attribute name, I'm going to choose average rating, and I choose descending for sorting order. I want to be sorted from the highest to the lowest. Apply. And let's take a look at the results. So this is the results. We have 134 examples in this case, The first example is this product ID, where the number of rating is 55 and the average rating is 4.964. And now we can recommend the first few, let's say 5 or 10 of this product ID to the entire users.